Great morning, business owners and managers, and welcome to another awesome episode of CX in the Morning, Customer Experience in the Morning. I am your host, Wes Walters, along with my co-host, Ms. Shay Norman.
Good morning.
Every single CX in the Morning, we bless you with customer service tips, customer experience tricks, and we leave you with gems. And by gems, I mean actionable takeaways that you can implement at the speed of now. If you continue watching, you will learn the importance of implementing an awesome customer experience and how it affects your bottom line immediately. I mean, immediately, literally right after this broadcast. You can take what you've learned and apply it to yourself, to your business, and to your team, making your business bigger, better, and stronger. Great morning, Shay. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Good to be back with you. It's been a while.
I know you have this glow. You look like fresh out of I don't know what's happened. You look happy. You're glowing. You turned vegan. Wait. You turned vegan over the weekend or something?
I was about to joke with you and say it must be my ring light, but no, I went keto, and
I am seeing it on your skin. I can see it. Yeah, really. No brown nose, and you're glowing.
Good. So it's working. So I guess I'll keep it going.
Keep it going. Won't he do it, right?
Yes, he will.
So what's going on, man? How has everything been? The check-in before the lesson. How are things on your end? How is anything I can help you with? How are things been going?
You know what? I have a confession to make. I know we said we would do this once a month, but the other thing that was brewing is I am trying to. This week, I want to talk to my agents before we go on Thanksgiving break and just talk to them about how to make sure they are doing the best they can at creating the customer experience during this difficult time. Because I can't lie, I'm sure like many people who are watching, I've been glued to the television and just watching the coronavirus numbers spike. I just finished traveling and thank God, I'm good. Yeah. But things are so heightened right now. When I think about being bothered or being anxious, I try and think about things that will ground me. And one of the things that will ground me is taking care of my agents. I am in the insurance financial services industry and also helping them take care of their clients. For us, we deal with a really vulnerable population. We deal with elderly for the most part, who are on Medicare, and we help them with their health care. It's a lot. It's a big responsibility for us. So I have to be honest. I say, you know what? I want to talk to Wes. Let me pick Wes's brain to see what he thinks about how businesses should perform right now during COVID. So honestly, that's how I'm doing, and that's what my focus is for this week. What about you?
Well, awesome. Well, my focus for the group for the week is, hey, I see Miss I Love Travel, I Love Music. So we have the awesome co-host today, Miss Shay. So you want to watch us either on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitter. Unless you just want to watch me, you can stay here. But if you want to see,
don't do that.
Beautiful Shay with her glowing skin, you want to go over to Facebook. But for me, man, it's just always my MO every single day, whether it's COVID, pre-COVID, post-COVID, who's in the White House, who's not in the White House, is always waving the customer experience banner and taking up that flag. When I took it up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to wave it all the time and show individuals and business owners and managers the importance of creating an awesome customer experience, even if there's a pandemic, even if there's something else, even if there's an earthquake, even if there's always going to be a time and a need to serve. And not only serve, but what separates you from the rest is serving at a world-class level. So fill in the blank. You take out COVID and replace something else, there's going to be a need to serve. Take out COVID and put a hurricane. If you're in Florida and there's a hurricane, there's going to be a need for serve. If you are in Maine and there's a landslide, a snowstorm, there's going to be a need for service. So there's always going to be a need for service. But I think before we even begin this conversation, let's address the purple elephant in the room, that the psychological and mental effects that COVID has had on individuals during this time. And no one is talking about, everyone's just staying away from mental health. And mental health is serious because it affects everything else. And if your mental game is not right, everything else trickles downhill. So according to this survey by Fiverr, it says more than 80% of consumers in the United States expect customer support to get more empathetic and more responsive. Now, I want to be clear. I said not 18%, 80%
Yeah.
expect customer support to be more empathetic and more responsive and in some cases both, according to findings of the report customer support through the eyes of the consumer in 2020, published by Fiverr. So your customer base, because they're overwhelmed, because they're stressed, because of fill in the blank, they are coming to you expecting more compassion,
Right.
more benevolence. And if you don't deliver that, you're missing the mark.
Shout out, I have to say this really quick. You made me think of something. Shout out to Mr. Everything for anybody who is in the Atlanta area. And I don't know, maybe they expanded beyond, but I remember when they were in just the very small little shoebox cubby hole on Martin Luther King when I went to Morris Brown.
Yes.
But yeah, right. Exactly. You know, Wes.
You get a Mr. Everything sandwich. Hey, it was like
your week,
no matter what you were dealing with, your day was better after.
Yes. Yes. Well, let me say, I have to shout them out because we ended up going by there, of course, being keto. You can go get a nice salad with a bunch of veggies, some cheese, you know, some protein or whatever. So we went in there, and the young lady behind the counter was she had a lot of people, but Wes, when I tell you, she was not overwhelmed at all. She was thoughtful. She was nice. And it was just like that extra, like you said, consumers, I mean, because most of us are buying stuff consistently, we just consuming. A lot of the interactions that we have are with businesses. So it makes sense. The article you just read, it makes sense that we're looking for businesses to show more compassion, because at the end of the day, we're all people. I mean, she had all of these people in front of her, but she laughed with everybody. She was calm, and it took a long time, just like it used to, you know, because we didn't call ahead. But that was fine, because I walked out of there and I said to James, I said, she was really nice, you know, above the weight, everything. So I just wanted to say that was a great example of what you just read, because I did look for her to be nicer. I look for everybody that I interact with to just have a little bit more compassion, because you must be going through some of the same things that I'm going through. That's how I see it.
Yeah. So let's shout out to Mr. Everything. I haven't been back there in decades, so I need to. What location did you go to?
We were coming back from Fayetteville, so that was the location. It's like I guess that's Old National, or do you call it 139?
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, so let's chop this up into two different sections. We're going to deal with internal customers and external customers. Now, like the flight attendants would always say, you should put your mask on first before trying to assist anyone else. So before you can, give your employees permission to serve the customers at a world-class level, you as a business owner, manager, should create an environment and you be sure that they are serving. What should business owners and managers do first? All right, COVID is here. It's going to be here for a while. We don't know when it's going to leave. I think second to being transparent as a business owner, I think it's very important that as a business owner, you need to be transparent and let your employees know, hey, this can actually remove some of the angst. Okay, your job is secure. No one is going to lose their job. There's going to be limited hours so that everyone can keep their job. Or if that's not even the case, be honest and say, hey, look, we're going to have to let some of you guys go. I'm going to have to take a pay cut. Be honest. I think transparency, whether it's good news or bad news, is important. So besides being transparent, what is the next thing that a business owner or manager should have in line so that, again, employees are in the know and they know what's going on?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you. Absolutely. I'm asking.
I'm taking notes. Did you all not hear me? He not hear me. I came here for some gems. But
you
no
want gems. All right, cool.
No. First, like you said, being transparent. The second thing, I could just put myself in that and say, normally I don't talk to my agents on the weekend, you know, on Saturday after 3:00 and things like that. I literally made phone calls to my agents this weekend just to check in and say, hey, how are you doing? I was thinking about you, and I really did it organically. I was thinking about them. So whoever came to mind, I thought about them, but the response was so great. Like they were answering the phone thinking, is something wrong? Is something going on? And I said, no, I was really just thinking about you. How are you doing? How are you and your family doing? They're trying to report their sales numbers. And I'm like, no, I just want to know how you're doing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really effective. It made me feel good too.
Yeah, and in addition to that, just beside after transparency, just being personal, just being like, look, like you said, I'm calling just to see how is the family, how is the family doing. That's important, and I think the biggest thing is if you're not going to cut jobs, letting individuals know that hey, your job is secure. I think that to any person who has a family, reporting that back home to their spouse, to their kids, that hey, Christmas might not be as jubilee as it normally is, but we will have a Christmas. We were going to be okay. I think that is the most important thing that a business owner and manager could do. Hey, if you guys are on Instagram, you want to send or go over to Facebook and watch this, or on YouTube, because we have the lovely co-host Miss Shay. And if you want to get her responses, you want to watch it on Facebook or Instagram on YouTube. All right. So also, as well, Shay, I think it's important. I have a list of things that employers or business owners and managers should have in place so that when we are forced to obviously have smaller teams, those businesses that are not allowed to work from home, you're going to have smaller teams working. So because hours are going to be minimized. But in addition to the ones who are in a position to work from home, I had like a list of 4 bullet things that employers should insist to allow the work from home mobile working to be a little smoother. The first on that list was maintain work hours. If you're supposed to be at work at 8, you should be at work at 8, even if you're working from home. That's important. And again, always look at it because customers are dependent on business hours. You say 8, you should be able to, I should call at 8 and you should pick up. A second is, set ground rules for your work from home. Let the individuals who are working from home as well know that you're not on vacation. You are working from home.
Right. And to your point about mental health, one of the things that we can do to maintain our mental health, especially when you have teams of people who report to you, a business that you're responsible for, and your customers, of course, is maintain a healthy schedule. And that means building habits. And so also being there at 8 o'clock, being at your desk at 7:45 or 7:30 so that you can get started at 8 o'clock or earlier, depending on your business operations. I know for me, I definitely need to be at my desk like 30 minutes prior to the time that my agents know that they can reach me. But it helps me be grounded. It helps me keep some mental grounding, like, oh, I know I have to do this, instead of feeling like I'm working from home and I could just float around and have a long breakfast or whatever. Because if you do that, you throw yourself off. And we're already dealing with, whether you know it or not, you got some COVID fatigue. Okay. Yeah. So instead of adding to that mental mix of junk and feeling behind, keep the schedule for yourself as well.
And in addition to say, like, as you was talking about, just roaming around for breakfast, having dedicated workspaces, like if it's not in this office, it doesn't get done at a world class level. Like many times I'm gonna take my laptop to my bed. Not a good idea. Oh, you know what? I'm going to work on the oh, the weather is so great. I'm going to go outside and take the laptop and work in the balcony. Nah, this is the designated work area, this office. And if it's not here, it's not going to get done at a world-class level.
Yeah, no, I understand. And the contrast to that, I would say, is if it's not work that needs to be performed, but yet maybe you want to just kind of look at some articles on your laptop, things like that. Having a dedicated workspace is a dedicated workspace. But when you need a mental break, if it's not work, don't close yourself in. See, I will tend to, there's some days I will stay in my office because I got a TV in my office. I got a couch in my office. I got, a couple different computers, personal and work. So I might just drift off and say, oh, I'm going to take a break. I want to read an article. Get up, leave. You know what I'm saying? Leave the office to take a real break, right?
I just got a message from the heavens The gem of the day is to get the television out of the office, Shay. Shay, you got a television? Shay,
I do.
Shay, first of all, who watches TV on a television anymore? Second, in your office.
I do. And I'll tell you why. The exact thing I just said. I have literally this year just started breaking myself from being in the office all the time, because I will be on the computer and I might be working on some reports, something that doesn't have a lot of brain activity. I don't have to do a lot, but just to like make it through, I might watch the news. I love watching documentaries. I'm a foodie, so it's a new show called Eater Worldwide, you know what I mean? And just recipes. So I would think, oh, let me multitask. Let me do it like that. However, also I'm wearing my Apple Watch that tells me get up, take a break. And so just COVID, just being more mindful about my activity. I really don't watch the television much in here anymore, but I will take a break and watch some news. But it's something in my mind, and it's a concerted effort. So anyway, I'm not removing my television.
Like the TV stays.
You can take that.
She said the TV stays.
It does, and it's another screen for when I want to hook my laptop up to it.
See, that's hustle. You're like, look, it's really not a TV, it's a monitor, Wes. It's an extended monitor. It is, Wes. All right, so one industry that really has taken a hard hit. I think the minute I say it's taking it the hardest, I'm going to be in trouble. So I'm not going to say the hardest. Say an industry that has taken it really hard is the restaurant industry. Now, Shay, I literally created an entire training module program, online course. It took about 9 months to create this course. Good morning, Miss Bratwitt. And then COVID hit. And at first I was like, there was a lot of lessons in that. One, you don't have as much time. Like my whole mantra, like the essence of West right now is that it needs to be done now. We don't have as much time as we think. Like get it done, man. So I was kind of like, the lesson from that was like, okay, that's what you get for filibustering around and not putting it out when you needed to, because you could have made a lot of money before the COVID. But then I looked at it from okay, why did this happen? It's a good thing I didn't put it out, because you probably wouldn't have. I wanted it to be an evergreen product that was going to be there forever. And COVID has literally changed the restaurant industry. So I'd have had to modify it anyway. But the restaurant industry has taken a massive hit in regards to, we've seen so many things that they had to change in regards to curbside pickup was something that the elite restaurants would offer. Now it's a given. It's the default setting for all restaurants. You have to have curbside, and that's going to be there forever. That's not going away. Right. Of course, a lot of companies have now upped their deliveries process. And I went to a Chick-fil-A, like they have contactless drive-through. Like literally, you go to the drive-through, you pull out your card. You don't have to. They don't touch your card. They stick this thing out, allow you to stick it in. It processes no pin. You don't have to enter no pin. No. This is stick it in. Boom! It processes your pin for this machine. Knows your pin. Yep. Sticks it in. Boom! And when you get to the actual window for their food, they put your food in a bucket and never touch it. You have to take totally contactless.
Yes. Totally
contactless. How are other industries like in addition? Of course, the restaurant has literally changed, and I see that this being permanent. And I don't think this is going to be temporary. This is going to be permanent. How are other industries adapting with some of the changes, such as like curbside pickup, etc., deliveries?
Well, the restaurant industry has been hit so hard. I think that's been a major focus for me when I think about industries that are hit hardest. And shall I say, with Chick-fil-A, they still do it with a smile. Okay. They are still organized, do it with a smile. I mean, they are on top of it. And if you're keto, the grilled nuggets, that's all you want to get.
They have grilled nuggets at Chick-fil-A?
Yes. And that's all you want to get there if you're keto.
Oh,
but the other,
senseless plug for Chick-fil-A, right?
Right. We need to get an ad or something going on. But yeah, no, other industries. Well, I'm in financial services, but it crosses over into the healthcare industry because of the health insurance we write. And so we all know how strained the healthcare workers are, and whatever you can do to try and protect yourself from getting COVID, please do it, because these people are under massive stress. And for my agents or for financial services industry, what I will say is, if you are in this industry and you have personal clients, whether it be groups or individuals like my agents have, we want to shoot out handwritten notes of thank you, just for being a member, handwritten notes. And, traditionally, you think of more older people as appreciating a handwritten note, but you yourself, as long as you have a mailbox and you open mail, if you get an envelope that looks different, I tell my agents to do like these colorful envelopes so that it sticks out, right? Mm-hmm. But hand write it. Somebody knows that you took the time to not only mail them something as a marketing piece, but to also put yourself in it, right? And tell them thank you. Another thing is calling your clients. Even if you're a hairstylist or a barber, if you've been keeping great records, pick up the phone. And I'm not saying sit down all day long and do it. However, if your business has slowed down, you can fill in that time by doing just that, picking up the phone and saying, hey, just checking on you. How is your family? Another thing, I wrote down a couple of things. Oh yeah, well, social media. If you feel like picking up the phone, if you have too many clients, of course you can use social media to reach out if you're connected to your clients via social media. Also, I thought something that was really cool, especially at this time of the year when businesses are going through their financials and looking at what money is maybe available for donation. How well did we do? What do we do next year? Everybody should be doing that right now. As a matter of fact, I'll be actually hosting a vision boarding experience virtually where we're going to do some of these things. And Wes, I'll make sure you have the link just so if anybody in your tribe, anybody who visits your page, they can see it. But we're going to be going over things like that. One of the things you can do right now is look at making donations to organizations, which is a tax write-off. I'm talking about from your business account, not your personal account. And even if it is from your personal account, still a tax write-off, but I'm talking business here. Look for organizations that you can donate to that directly affect the experience of the clients that you serve. And there's so many organizations out there, 501c3s that you can donate to.
As you were speaking, what came to mind is I was literally reading an article, in constantly learning about customer experience. I read an article that says that, yes, technology has changed. Yes, we're doing more bots. Yes, there's a lot of things are without, communication with an actual human being. But what never gets old is a human touch. A personal handwritten note from a client or a vendor says something that touches the human side of us, knowing that, hey, someone I'm calling just to see how you're doing. No, nothing about the numbers. How are you doing? That never gets old. It doesn't matter 25 years from now when technology is on another level where we can't even imagine it. That human touch is still priceless. Looking someone in the eyes or having a conversation and asking a question and waiting for them to respond, that's priceless. You cannot get that feeling from a chat bot. You just cannot.
No. As a matter of fact, I dealt with a chat box this weekend, and it almost infuriated me. I was like, this is too much. I spent so much money with you. I don't have my product, and you want to bloop, 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 this like chat box bot. I was just like, because in my mind, I'm thinking how impressed I've been with automation and how far we've come. And oh my God, I can see that someone is responding to me immediately. But if it's so vanilla, you can even make your chat box. I'm not going to say this company's name. I was about to, but I'm not. No. You can even make the automated messages that the bot sends more personal. That can even help, But anyway.
And that's simple. Like literally the code for that is so simple. Like you can literally, I say, just give that job to a woman. Let a woman do that part. I think a lot of these scripts are written by Caucasian males, white Caucasian males. That if you add a woman there, had some feminine energy, it would be so much more. The individual on the other side would be so much more receptive. If you're just tuning in, we're here talking with Miss Shay Norman, and we're talking about what businesses can do post-COVID, how businesses can adapt, pivot, or die. And what changes can we see in the industry in regards to customer experience and customer service, and how you can allow your teams, internal customers, as well as give them the ammunition to serve the external customers. All right, cool. So, Shay, this is a lot of gems. Thank you so much. What I've heard so far is that, again, that the importance of transparency, the importance of letting your team know that, hey, either it's going to be okay, or, hey, look, the end is near. I'm out of transparent. You guys should seek employment elsewhere. Also is important of adjusting, pivoting, or dying, knowing that, okay, we're going to have to adapt. You can, shout out to the businesses who always kept a positive online presence. The ones who are like, well, all of the ones who are playing catch up right now are going to be like, well, my business is more personal, face to face. And then you couldn't do face to face for 4 months.
Right.
Now you're like, oh, I need a rebrand. I need a website. Oh, now you do. So shout out to the ones who saw this ahead. And, one of the gems here is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Always staying ready, staying ahead of the curve. So, good stuff so far, man. Anything else that we should have or keep in mind in regards to getting through this COVID? I think the most important thing is to realize that although it seems like there's no end in sight, eventually I refuse to think that this is the rest of the world forever. No, this will eventually go away.
Right.
What I'm learning, though, is that a lot of businesses are going to adapt the things that they are doing now as the norm.
Yeah.
So the changes, even though the COVID is temporary, the change is permanent. Like, for example, I was listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins. He says high rise real estate in Manhattan will never cost what it used to, because companies that were paying for high rise real estate in Manhattan realized that their employees can do and be just as productive as home. So that real estate in Manhattan is they're never going to get what they used to get, because, like, we don't need to pay for, we're mobile.
Right. Exactly. One thing I will leave is, just thinking about this last night before going to bed, I said, wow, if you really think about it, especially those of us who are entrepreneurs, solidifying part of your retirement through customer experience. If you've never thought about it before, if you are in this game for the long haul, remember, we all create, what we see. So don't shortchange yourself and think, oh, COVID is here. Oh, political things are changing. Maybe my business won't be here. Maybe I need to do something different. No, if you got something valuable, stick with it. And if you haven't done some retirement planning or long-term planning, do it so you can put this stuff in focus and just keep on with it. But here's the hit. We talked about the fact that consumers are looking for businesses to be more compassionate, be more human, be more friendly. Think of that, and think of your clients sticking with you through COVID, post-COVID, in a new era, and remembering, because we're going to remember the businesses that were more human. We're going to remember the businesses that didn't just treat us like a number. So if you can think of your long-term financial security and retirement, if you will, I know nobody really use that word anymore, but life after work, how about that? If you could think of your long-term financial security and life after work, plug in customer experience and make it just as important, if not more important, than the product that you are offering, because we're going to remember it. As consumers, as clients, we're going to remember it. And we are the ones who will end up sending you referrals or just singing your praises or, wearing your brand, if you will. So just keep your head up, think about the long term, and think about customer experience as a part of your overall retirement or life after work plan. It's just that important.
Man, that's how you end the show. I was about to say, Shay, what's your last word? That's the last word. Listen, that's the gem. Shay, where can they find you if they need to see find more about you?
You can hit me up at thebridge.life, and that's THA bridge.life. That is my financial accountability coaching company. And like I said, I will be doing a vision boarding for 2021, which includes business planning. And Wes, I'll make sure you have that information after we produce it.
Oh, definitely. We're definitely going to share that and share it to anyone in the matrix. Everyone in the galaxy is going to get that for sure. Shay, as always, it's a pleasure having you here. Thank you for everything that you bring and the value that you bring to the show. This concludes another episode of CX in the Morning. If you need help implementing anything that you saw on this broadcast, feel free to DM Shay. Feel free to give me a DM. And as always, you can have an awesome day if you create it. Peace.
Absolutely. Peace out.